It's Tutorial Tuesday! I wanted to talk to you guys about a very important part of my technique when I do blowouts that I like to call the pull and roll method. This method requires two very important things. One, a lot of tension. Two, a lot of wrist work. The heat from the blow dryer really is secondary when it comes to this method. Heat is very important, but if you do a blowout that lacks tension and that lacks some sort of rolling and twisting and pulling method, you're going to lack volume and you're going to induce frizz in the root and you're going to lack curl and movement. When you see me twisting, I really am starting in the root, and that's because it helps smooth out the hair from root to ends. I don't want there to be any disconnection in texture, meaning I don't want the ends to be a different texture than the roots, so that's why I start by twisting at the root. Now, tension is very important when it comes to this technique, and I talk about this in my e-course. It's very similar to ironing a shirt, and if you try to iron a shirt without pulling the wrinkles out first, then you're just going to end up with a wrinkled shirt. Think of the curls as wrinkles, and so you have to pull out those wrinkles in order for the shirt to be smooth, for the hair to be smooth. One thing I want you guys to pay attention to, and I talk about this in my last Tutorial Tuesday video, watch how the air in my blow dryer is not being flung around. I'm never waving the blow dryer back and forth. I'm concentrating it just on the area where I want the heat to be distributed. Sometimes when we wave the blow dryer around trying to get rid of the moisture, we end up creating frizz because we disturb those vellus hairs in our roots. Pull, roll, pull, roll. Another tip that I wanted to give you guys is make sure you are deep conditioning and detangling your client's hair. A lot of people get overwhelmed with curly hair because they can't get through it with a brush, they can't get through it with a comb. You have to make sure you're giving your clients treatments. You have to make sure you're moisturizing their hair and detangling with a very good detangling brush. You can use a Denman brush. I believe Felicia Leatherwood has a really dope brush that's out right now. That's very good for detangling curly hair. I just think that's a very, very important part. And the reason why I can get through the blowouts so smooth and easy is because I pay attention to the health of the hair and how I'm detangling it. Also, be mindful of how you're releasing the hair from the brush. That's very important. How you release it is how it's going to set in the hair. In my last Tutorial Tuesday video, I talked about popping the top and putting volume in the top of the head by not dropping the hair and kind of just creating the volume first before I release it. And so I thought this would be a really good way to show you that example here. Wherever I want to create volume, I'm always blowing upward, and wherever volume isn't necessarily needed, I'm always blow drying downward. As most of you know, I'm a huge advocate for pin curls. I didn't use pin curls in this blowout, but I definitely suggest when popping the top, when creating volume, pin the hair after you finish round brushing it, and it holds the volume and it holds the shape a little bit better, a lot better. So this is my client Sash from LA. She likes a more natural blowout, so I try not to blow dry her with too many perfect parts, but she really loves a full, bouncy, natural style, so that's what we tried to do today. Which way do you want to cut it? Yeah. She's like, yeah, that.